How y'all doing today? Hold on a second. So, this morning I got an inbox from somebody who shared a post by Manati Wilson. That post was talking about the people who were my original mentors and who I considered to be my original mambo. But see, the way from which it was written, first of all, you can talk about a group of people that I am no longer associated with as far as voodoo is concerned, or, things like that, magic is concerned. That particular person, which was Mambo T, she was my first the mambo I was introduced to when I came into voodoo. Now, you all have seen the changes that have taken place in this environment over the years. I think a lot of us who grew up in the 70s had a different idea of racial relations and racial improvements, and that the events of the last decade have proven to us that we are not only not going forward when it comes to the equal rights and treatments of black people, we are moving backwards. Okay? Now let me tell you who I am. First of all, in her response video to all of this, she basically said I was lying because I said the first interaction that I had with her was her looking for a teacher. And then I did let her know that I'm doing a lot of studying and reading on my own. So that's the first thing, because I was accused of being taught whitewashed voodoo by my mentors, whitewashed hoodoo. My mentors made every resource available to me that I could find, but what she seems to forget, and what I had to explain to her, that I've been a scholar of black studies my whole fucking life. My master's degree is a concentration in 20th century black women literature, and if that ain't full of hoodoo and magic, I don't know what is. My undergraduate minor was black studies. No, my name, I would have preferred to have kept my name. My name is Tracy Lynn Dice, and I'm not worried about people knowing who I am. When I originally got the Elizabeth Ruth profile, I was working for the Voodoo Store. And at that time in Conjure, and I'm seeing it now in Black folks Conjure, I don't really know what's going on much in the white Conjure world because I don't really fuck with that. But when I first started, y'all, couldn't nobody have been doing the work because of shit like this. They spent their days going after each other, arguing about each other's products. If somebody was copying off of somebody, there was a whole bunch of shit in the white Conjure world. And I'm sorry, I think that most black people, unless they might be starting right now, but people who started in this work years ago, our parents were in the church. I talk to people every day at this store who, when they first wanted to reach out and do magic, they were with white people. Okay? And the first thing that my white mentors told me was that this was my birthright. Mina has been consistent in thinking she knows what they taught me. What they talked about on her page, you're looking at individuals, a lot of individuals who have done a lot of scholarship behind it. And at that time, I was incredibly wet behind the ears. Basically, in her video, she says that I did not come to her defense when her and Jeff were going at it. But see, that's the reality. Let me tell you something. There were a lot of times that I did not agree with my mentors. And we would have back alley conversations that wasn't nobody privy to. Because I followed always the black adage of keeping my business to myself, not airing my dirty laundry in the streets. But if I ever felt they were out of pocket, I most certainly let them know. And eventually that led to me leaving the Voodoo Store. And it was great. I didn't know it at the time. Okay? I wouldn't be here now if things had not had transpired as they did. Okay? I thought we were great friends. We would spend hours on the phone. We know each other's business and receipts and all of that. And when she called me their black pet, I asked, as a black woman, for an apology. Because I had never, ever, ever spoken about her in that manner. We have some fundamental differences. Over the years, people have sent me posts of hers, and I don't have shit to say. Okay? I'm over here handling my business. Always have, always will. I honestly don't have any real hate for anybody. Because personally, I do, but not anybody that is in this conversation. I have real hate for racists. I have real hate for oppressors. I have real hate for rapists. One of which she publicly supported when it came out that he had raped somebody. So that was strike 2 about why she couldn't be a friend of mine anymore. I have not had dislike. I have not even paid attention to her. Because I believe in leaving people where they are. If you cannot meet people where they are, you walk away. The reason why I have the Elizabeth Ruth profile, I have never hidden it, ain't never been, as she referred to, or somebody referred to in her little crew, Conjure Cosplay. I got that because I was trying to start a conjure business and the like. I did it, first of all, at the advice of my mentors. Why? Because at that time, and still today, people were being discriminated because of racism. And because of, not racism, my mind is a little short today because I'm tired, okay? They discriminate against witches, y'all, okay? And so my mentors told me, because the people in the conjure community were so very fucking messy, as you saw in her post when she felt the need to post my name. If you look at my real profile, which I don't accept people to from the conjure community, because that's my family's page now. I don't even get on that page. You can go and look at the last time I fucking posted. Okay? And so there are several people who have multiple profiles. Ain't nobody trying to fake no funk out here and pretend to be anybody that I'm not. I don't have to. I'm fucking grown, y'all. So Elizabeth Ruth is my grandmother. The woman who told me she saw her first witch when she was 6 years old. I grew up in a spirit-filled home, and when those spirits came to call me back to do what was my responsibility, my destiny as a magical person, I didn't know. If you're a person who grew up with spirits, but your adults didn't tell you much, you know how I talk to students every day like this. They don't have the knowledge, okay? And just like me, at the time that she first reached out to me, she was looking for a teacher. She wasn't looking for me to teach her. And yes, all of us were going to go and take that correspondence course. Funny. I've always been transparent. Even when I had a more we are the world concept of hoodoo. When I first started teaching root work, I didn't call it hoodoo. I called it root work. And then I accepted students who were not black. But based on the appropriation, the entitlement, and the downright fucking racism that we've had to deal with in this country, I changed my position on that. And I've taken heat. Go look at my Google reviews. I'm racist. Isn't that interesting? So how one person can accuse me of being a bootlicking ass black pet, and then these white folks out here in these streets are accusing me of being racist, which one is it? And accusing me of being fake. My issue with her is because you don't do that to a sister. Just like Monica Jeffries went and told somebody I was doing malevolent magic to them and sucking their energy. Just like Kim Chemistry went and told my voodoo sister, who's sitting right here in my store, that she needed to be careful around me. Everybody got my name in their motherfucking mouths, and that's okay. Because I'm obviously doing something right. I'm glad that she wishes me well. I've never wished her any ill will other than the fact that my feelings were hurt. And yes, the struggle is bigger than any of us. We do need to be united. But what I'm not going to do is be fucking disrespected. We were not good enough friends for her to give me an apology. When you grow spiritually, I think one of the biggest things for me, because I try to be knowledgeable before I let shit come out my mouth, right? So one of the biggest things for me is to be accountable for when I'm wrong. And sometimes I've had to apologize to people when I didn't feel like I did anything wrong, but they were hurt enough and I cared about them enough to issue said apology. She got to accept it. She would just said, hey sis, I'm sorry. It was some fucked up shit going on back then. Both of us have grown and I didn't mean that or whatever. And I would have accepted her friend request and we'd have kept it moving. Y'all also got to understand that on this particular page, not everybody is my friend. I am currently hosting a number of people who people have come to me about some real fucked up shit. And me, because not my monkey, not my circus, my name ain't in it, I'm just going to keep my eyes open, not say nothing, and see how it all falls out. And I think that is the best thing to do. Because that post about Mambo T, like I said, the last time Mambo T got in my inbox, I told her to go the fuck away. Because she didn't care about me when me and the boys at the voodoo store fell out. Why the fuck is she gonna care about me now? And I let them know what I told her ass. Stay gone. Okay? All of us have things in our past that we may not necessarily be proud of, different philosophies and thought patterns that change over time. But see, I was the one out here warning people about taking that course where you had to get a black friend and wasn't nobody else trying to listen to me. She talking about all these receipts. I have all of our conversations. I was me then, I'm me now. Thoughts, people, places even, because I left Chicago, changed. But at one time, me and this woman would sit on the phone for 6 hours talking to each other and just talking about everything. So for her to turn around and do that, and for all me to ask for was an apology, I don't think that was unreasonable. But guess what? You don't have to. You don't have to be sorry. You don't have to apologize. You can wish me well, as I have wished pretty much every fucking body who is no longer part of my life. I've never made any bones about it, okay? I have never, ever wanted to talk about somebody who was no longer in my space. I don't know if they're threatened. I don't know why my name had to come up in the conversation just because she feels some kind of way about my former mentors, okay? I realized after I initiated certain particular things that went on during that time that all of us were dealing with some really fucked up influences. Okay? And I even told my mentors that much when I left their employment. Okay? But I have been honest. I've been honest all these years about when spirits came to my house. The only people I knew that practiced magic were my photography mentors. Where the fuck else was I supposed to go? And then if you go on my old Facebook page that I still have, because it's my family, okay, there will be a post where I tagged them and said, I have haints in my house and I'm gonna need y'all to come and get them. I wasn't trying to do any of this, y'all. I used to be their friend. We were like family. We spent holidays together and we were cool as fuck until I started practicing magic. People saw me as what she said, their black pet, like a marketing tool, when that was never ever a source of conversation. I came to them wanting to learn. They told me who the spirits were in my home. They gave me that half-ass written book by their mambo, but it was enough and decently written without all of the bullshit that you see in some of these voodoo books by these white authors, okay, for me to get a spark, okay? When I went to my first fete, there was only a couple black people in the room. I still felt, because the spirit was there with me, that voodoo was home. And I had to take a journey by myself. I had to break away from all of the influences, white and black, to sit with my spirits by myself and figure out what the fuck I was going to do. Because honestly, reality is, this is my ministry, my destiny. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't put up with all this bullshit. It is an incredibly stressful job to help people of all races who don't know shit about magic, but they want to practice. So this has been a labor of love, but it has been a labor. And my name in that conversation was completely unnecessary. I don't fuck with them no more. And everybody who knows me, and you have to understand this too, Mina, hundreds of people that are on my regular Facebook page, since you feel the need to tell everybody my real black ass name, are also on my magical profile, including people that I work with. I shut Elizabeth Ruth's profile down, actually, when I left the voodoo store. And then Mama Star called me and was like, you got one day to grieve the loss of your mentors and to get back up and to fulfill your life's promise. And I looked at that. I went and I got all of the conjure people off of my real life profile, put them on the Elizabeth Ruth profile, opened my profile again, and decided that I was going to do things differently as far as my involvement in the conjure community, which is why you don't see me in a bunch of people's groups or on a bunch of people's posts talking mess. Even when they're talking mess that's true about someone else. I would have commented if I had been a friend, but one would think if she was ever really my friend, because she keeps talking about how much she loves me and how much she wishes me well, my name wouldn't have come up at all, because I'm not on any of that shit that they doing no more. Okay? I don't know what the state of their relationship, my former mentor's relationship is with Mambo T, because it doesn't matter. All that mattered was we were able to reconcile. We were able to realize the places where we were wrong. I was never always right. I will never always be right. Okay? But yes, literally posted about, I don't agree. And let's make this very fucking clear. It disgusts me that when you type in Google, Kemet, that this white woman's name comes up for Kemetic orthodoxy, some shit she done made up on her own. Okay? But what I don't do is get in public forums and feel the need to discuss that issue. I think also because I use a little bit of rationalization to realize that I'm kind of close to that issue, considering she was one of the first people I considered to be my mambo. And in my mind, I'm just like, let's let sleeping dogs lie. If these fools, if you're black and you're running to someone who is not for Kemetic anything, that's your problem. You deserve to be misled. If you're running to a white person to teach you everything you need to know about hoodoo, you deserve to be misled. Is that to say that there are not some resources, books, research that can be valuable? Right now, I'm reading Spiritual Merchants, and I'm also reading Mojo Working. Mojo Working is the book that I'm promoting for my book club. I'm friends with the lady who wrote Spiritual Merchants. It's a pretty good book so far, but yes, I've seen some inaccuracies. So what am I going to do? Get on a status and tag her about where she's wrong? I just want to know what kind of fucking world we live in where people want to rope you into shit that you ain't got nothing to do with. I haven't been associated with that house in 4 years? But all of a sudden, today, my name gets called into their conversation about whatever fuckery that so-called Mambo and Kemetic priestess may be up to. Ain't nobody asked me how I felt about it, but somehow my name is in it. And that's what I'm saying. And I just called and left her a message because I have her phone number. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not fucking with her no more. Mambo T is not my mambo. My mambo is black. My mambo's a revolutionary. My mambo lives full fucking time in Haiti. And yes, I had to search that out, or the spirits, or wait really, for the spirits to give me that. Okay? I had to learn a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I've learned about magic, about black people, and all skin folk ain't kinfolk, as evidenced by today. I didn't lie. I put up the screenshot of the first conversation I had with her. She was looking for a teacher. Did I say I could teach her and I knew everything? No. We talked about how we were considering taking CATS class. It was unsaid that we probably felt some kind of way about taking something like that from somebody who wasn't black. And when she decided she was going to take her class and stay gussied up to her, okay, I also messaged her about that. I'm like, really? This is amusing that you would take this woman's class after the way you ripped into me for shit. I find that really fucking amusing. She's never liked my mentors, okay? That's her privilege. When I tried to explain to her from listening to that woman's radio show how incredibly anti-ATR she was, I had to break that down to her. That didn't end our friendship. What ended our friendship was what I consider to be the ultimate fucking disrespect, because not only did you call me a name, you insulted my whole spiritual walk. That I'm a black pet, that they're only stringing me along, okay? So that they can make money off me. They was making money then, they making money now. Yes, messy. Messy is the imperative word about all this bullshit. And I don't have time for it, y'all. I'm busy, okay? I don't fuck with people. If you all knew the numbers of people that come to me, and I wrote a post about it the other day, about these fuck shit, abusive ass, swindling ass workers, I don't say shit. So now all of a sudden my name is thrown into a conversation about a white woman that I used to know. I want to sing somebody I used to know. I really fucking do. Because I'll put up the screenshots of what I told her the last time she got up in my box when the Velveteen Warlock was fucking with me. I'm like, bitch, where have you been? You let your own mambo threaten me. And that's why I stopped fucking with you. So stay where the fuck you are. That's what I told Mambo T. And no, I didn't have to put that on blast. I didn't have to post the screenshots. I didn't even have to mention her name in a post. Because she is irrelevant to me. And I'm not out here fucking with nobody. So my name should not be in anybody's conversation about what the white people are doing. Former people that, you know, she has a problem with Jeff. Jeff says some things that people consider to be racist. We had a really big problem with that. And that was part of the reason why I left the store. But several years ago, I don't remember, I think it was when Philando Castile got killed, he posted Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, you finally get it. So everybody has to come to their own realizations. There's a lot of shit that happened during that time that you all will never know about. There's a lot of fucking malevolent magic involved too in separating me from my mentors. Okay? Because see, magic works on opportunities and weaknesses. And if somebody has a bias, somebody can use magic to intensify that bias to the point where people don't even want to have those conversations with those people. And that's what happened to me. Okay? So I left. And it was meant to be. I grew. They grew. They are my friends. We're like family. Some motherfuckers have black ass relatives who voted for Donald Trump. They still your relatives. You might even go and sit at fucking dinner with them. You may not agree with every fucking thing that they believe in, but you love each other and you don't have to. And so when you love somebody, I don't give a fuck what happens. You should be able to say you are sorry if you've hurt somebody. But because I didn't jump into a conversation that I really didn't have a lot of education about to defend an academic article that they were, academic article thing they were having about white slavery. And I have a whole bunch, I'm in her inbox talking to her about this. Okay? And, I don't even know. I haven't read the messages. When you have a situation where you have someone who's your friend, who you've shared confidences with, and you thought you had some form of sisterhood, and when they're too fucking stubborn in their ways to apologize when they've hurt your feelings, she says I owe her an apology for what? For not speaking out of turn, for not jumping into a conversation where I didn't know everything about the subject at hand. And that was the reality of the matter. It's like, I knew what I learned. And what I feel now is sometimes what you learn ain't right. And so at a very early stage in my magical practice, I decided to, if I don't know about it, and if I don't know about it well, or if I haven't done it myself, if I haven't read it myself, I can't speak on it. What I do know about hoodoo is this, is that my mentors told me it was my birthright. And I also know that there are inherently, she got mad at me because I went and visited a spiritual church that was the only one we had in Chicago. But the reality of the matter is my mentors told me I wasn't going to find what I was looking for there. Me and my girlfriend were just going for anthropology purposes, for research. And she sends me this long tirade about what I'm not going to find in a white or Latino spiritualist church. The only one that we had in that part of Chicago. There's also one on the south side. But those things that she mentioned are things that are inherently black. I already had that. I already had that enough to know that I wasn't going back to that church after I visited because it wasn't where I was going. So, like I said, I'm not out here in these streets mentioning nobody's name, even if I held a grudge against somebody. And since this whole race and racism thing is bigger than the individual, why the fuck do I have to become, unless you're going to tag me somehow, let me be part of the conversation, because I cannot comment, because I am not a Facebook friend and I will not be. Okay? If you're going to mention my name, for what? She talks about in her video how I was in the sunken place. I was being brought towards the enlightened place. At no point when I was working with the voodoo store did I stop identifying as a black woman or standing up for the rights of black people. I was doing that way before I ever met them, and I will never stop. So I don't know what the fuck her sunken place was. The fact that I was a newbie in magic. Okay? The fact that I didn't know a lot about the research. The fact that I was just working on ancestral memories, the ones that she talks about. And people that I deal with every day who come here are struggling with those things. And I had two people just care enough about me to start showing me the way. Even when I was with my most angry at my mentors, I was always motherfucking grateful, because it put me where it happened for a reason. Kismet, whatever the hell you want to call it, fate. And it gave me a beginner level. But no, I had not studied magic as long as they had. No, I had not read all of the things any of them had. I was not going to get into arguments like that. It's different, having an academic discourse. And that's one of the reasons why I don't allow arguing on my wall. Because too often people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they jump into other people's conversations. They going back and forth with each other, and as individuals, characterly, they were equally not some shit that I wanted to be a part of in that particular conversation, and that is my choice. But for years later, for you to come and mention my name in association with her whack ass, unnecessary. If you wish me well, you wouldn't do that. Because for people who don't know me, they will look at that and be like, oh, I'm not going to shop with her. People love fucking with the church's money. People see me building a business and they like to throw me under the bus. And see, that's the thing I picked up about her. For all this love she talks about, love is demonstrated in actions, not words. If I cared about somebody and wished them the best, I let them go on their way. The only time I ever mention anybody by name in my profile is when they've been running around with some fucking loose ass lips talking about any interaction with me. Because, yeah, I should be able to say something back to that. I should be able to respond. So here's the story. I have a real name. My name is earlier in the video. My grandmother's Elizabeth Ruth. I grew up in what motherfuckers called a haunted house. My ancestors have always been there. They came back to snatch my fucking edges. The voodoo store trained me. Along the way, I met this chick. Everybody wanted to get into an argument about Irish slavery. My grandfather's first wife was Irish. Everybody wants to get into the argument of who can practice hoodoo. I've made my position clear on that several times and even retracted a blog. I didn't take the blog down. I didn't take the article down. In fact, I linked to it in my retraction. I demonstrate growth. I demonstrate I don't do as I say, not as I do. This has been a very long, passionate, enjoyable, but at too many motherfucking times difficult path for me emotionally. And it ain't got nothing to do with the Loa or voodoo or hoodoo. It's got to do with this crazy ass cast of characters that come along wanting to talk about shit that people don't even have anything to do with anymore. Move on. Grow the fuck up. You know, you want to sit up here and accuse me of being some type of fraud? They've been doing that since the very beginning. Another white girl that I knew in Chicago wanted to go around tell everybody I was a fraud because I learned hoodoo in my 40s, because I didn't know all these things that were happening around me, to me, and my family members. All this spirit visitation was hoodoo and voodoo. So now it's lovely. We get to be persecuted for what we don't know. Okay? I read those books that I read in school completely differently now that I know magic. And I realized that if I'd had known the stuff that my grandmother knew but really didn't tell me, I probably would have gone this path way sooner, way earlier in my life. And I might have been able to find some black mentors early on. And so because of that is why I teach. I don't like teaching that much. Just because of having to deal with people who don't know how to act, who ain't installed Zoom, who don't know how to mute the goddamn phones, who don't do the homework, who come to my house and act like a motherfucking fool. Those are the things that I hate about teaching people. But what I love, and I've tried to find many different ways to keep teaching alive, and that's why I do webinars that are not recorded. Every class is different. Some sisters who had taken my candle magic class came in and took it again last night, and they were like, you didn't tell us all of this stuff when you taught it the first time. Guess what? Because these are things I've learned along the way by either doing or other students. Every time I teach a class, a student tells me something that educates me. And that is why I love teaching. And I never want a person who practices black people's magic, who is black, to feel like there's nobody there. In fact, one of the students tried to say that shit. One I had given a scholarship to. And I was like, you're on some bullshit. We're here. We're magical. And we teach. That's why I teach. But I swear for God, when the lease on this store is up, I might be done with every fucking body. Because this was the shit why I left the voodoo store. This constant talking about what other motherfuckers are doing, especially white people. They're not my concern. Okay? For lots of different reasons. My concern is that anybody black who wants to practice magic, practice hoodoo or initiate into an ATR gets led to the right people, people of color, who have good reputations and they're decent people. That's my concern. You know, I don't have to get on here and talk about how real I am. Y'all know how real I am. And it's really greatly disturbing that she can't keep my name out of her mouth, because fuck for real, y'all, I wasn't thinking about her. Only reason why I found out about this shit was because somebody sent me some screenshots. And I was just like, for real? Are you kidding me? I'm over here minding my own black magical motherfucking business, doing the best I can to help other black people sell their conjure products, having black people be here as healers and teachers, and mixing it up because we do have a diverse group of people that come in here, but my customer base is still 98% black. So the reality is, I've always been real with y'all. I've always been transparent with y'all. So, you know, I've never hidden who taught me. In fact, it's on my motherfucking website. You can go to the Voodoo Store's website and see that they ain't black. But the owner actually does have African blood. Some people are called to the Loa for the strangest ass reasons, and you don't know why. But like I said, you know, that's like, you know, me embracing. I can't embrace everybody black, especially when they disrespect me. That's like me trying to, you know, idolize Ben Carson or Condoleezza Rice. Just because they black don't mean they ain't whack. Seriously. So you have to pick and choose your mentors, your teachers, and everybody. And along the way, you're going to run into some people who are good for you because they're good for you, or they're good for you because they're bad for you. And you learn lessons and you move on, and you don't live in the fucking past. And since we ain't had conversations in years, and I mean literal fucking years, and when she was trying to call me, I forgot that I'd had her number blocked. That's how much I forgot her. And so she was going to voicemail and I didn't even know it. Okay? But at that time, I let her know, I'm not taking your friend request. I deleted you because you called me their black pet. And because I am a proud black woman with some fucking self-respect, I'm standing on that. And I don't give a fuck who's mad about it. But I have to ring up my sister so she can go on about her day. And I need to get back to mine. So you can share this with her if you want to. She can post it on her wall. I don't give a fuck. I don't need anybody to fucking like me. But you gonna respect me, or you not gonna be part of my space.